would like to actually make this a little bit exciting. So I'm going to ask you, what's like some of the most common ways that you've heard or experienced that, you know, where organizations, have vulnerabilities where people can gain access to the physical access through these types of tests.
Common.
And I know,
Well,
I know, I know, I know you can't disclose all your tricks and tips, but what usually are you looking at? Like, how does this take place? I mean, most organizations, most hospitals, for instance,
mhm.
insurance companies saying, well, the doors are closed. And I mean, is your goal to get past those doors? Is the goal to actually, walk in, get into an office, plug something in there, like we see in a lot of these, a lot of the movies, and gain access to patient data or customer data or, insurance policyholder data? What are the goals here, and how does this usually work?
So the goals is, I mean, the goals can be different from client to client. That's something that's discussed and agreed upon upfront. The client is usually the one that sets their goals, probably, based on a bit of collaboration and guidance from our team, of course, because sometimes we get engaged by organizations and they're like, oh, we want a red team. And we ask them, well, do you know what that means? They go, well, yeah, it's a pen test. Like, no, it's a little bit different. So let's have that discussion first. Let's figure out what your key assets are. Let's figure out what is going to have the most impact to you as a business if it were to be compromised in some manner. Um, for instance, like I said, critical data in an energy company, for instance, it could be access to their infrastructure, their operational technology, their industrial control systems. I mean, what would happen if we got access to a system that could shut down a pipeline? That could
And,
be
and and when you're saying access, it says, and we know, everybody's familiar, or there's a lot of talk about and exposure about what happens through the cyber side.
mhm.
But can you walk us through some of the risks that take place from the physical side? Because, before our conversation, I started thinking, well, we talk about patient data in a hospital. What if I can just walk in, take a USB, plug myself into any, everybody's busy taking care of patients, and plug a USB and then have access to the whole network?
Mhm.
Is your team, that's what your team does, is try to figure out where the vulnerabilities are from the, I understand that you're doing external,
Mhm.
but you're also doing walking in right in through the door as well, right?
So that's part of the reason I was going to go down the energy path was that
Okay, good.